Okay, so this is gonna be another attempt on the Searwood at doing a brisket. This time we are putting a water pan underneath the brisket. We're gonna start out low again. We're gonna do 180 on smoke boost. I am gonna do the smoke box because I like the deep penetration of the smoke ring that I got last time with the smoke box, so I am gonna do that again. I'm probably only going to do 180 smoke boost for about 2 to 3 hours max. Okay, and and then I'm going to turn it up to 225, and we're going to roll with that for probably 8-10 hours and check and see where we're at. Sorry about my baby. So we heavily seasoned this thing because I want really good bark on this. So we went with a 16 mesh pepper. Covered this thing in pepper first so that the pepper adheres to the brisket really well, and then we did salt, we did onion powder and garlic powder, and that's the only thing we did on this brisket. We trimmed it up real nice. Everything is really aerodynamic. We got nice thick meat on the flat side here, as you can see. So we got probably almost an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch of thick meat so that our flat hopefully does not dry out. Like I said, everything is pretty aerodynamic. Everything's looking pretty good. So we're gonna get the Searwood rolling and we're gonna start smoking. All right, we're back at it. We got our temperature going to smoke boost 180. Climbing up. We got water pans all along this brisket, so we've got this thing protected from the bottom. I do not want this thing drying out again. We're gonna start rolling, start getting this thing smoking, and this time we're gonna get a good brisket on this pellet grill. All right, this is check-in number 1. Although I didn't do any updates last night, the only thing I kind of did was came out here every hour, sprayed the brisket every hour. I then raised it to 200, then waited. So 200, I did it for 2 hours. Then I bumped it up to 200 for an hour. And then after an hour, I went to 215. And then after another hour, I went to 225. And so we went from 11 o'clock last night is when I put this on. It's now 7 o'clock. So we're reading 156 in the brisket, and it's feeling pretty good. So yeah, it feels pretty good. All right. So this is another check-in. It is now 2:25 p.m. and we're sitting at 175 on the brisket. I have been checking this brisket. I have been spraying the brisket, and everything looks really good on it. I haven't checked it here in a few hours. Let's see what it looks like now. Oh yeah. So yeah, we got really good color on this. Still got the water pans going. I put the flat towards the side where everybody's saying that this is the cooler side over here on the left. Yeah, that's looking good. When I touched this last time, yeah, it's sticky. Yeah. So this fat is rendered. Look at that. Looks amazing. All right. Can't wait. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this brisket because we're only sitting at 190. I know you usually take briskets to 200, but there was a guy on YouTube that was cooking a brisket on this Searwood, and he was probing tender at 180, and he actually pulled his brisket off at 180 because it was done. I know it sounds weird, but every time I probe this thing is super butter. It goes in and out. I am going to do the bend test and make sure that it's going to bend okay before I pull it, but I mean, this thing is just going right in without any effort. Measuring 185 there, so just goes right in. 187, where I got this probe, it's saying 190. 187. 191, 197 there. So 186, 187. So let's do the bend test real quick. Let's pick this up and see what kind of bend we get. Bark is looking really good. Color's looking really good. I do feel that it wants to bend. Yeah, it's bending over. I'm gonna take it inside. I'm gonna take a look at it a little bit better. But yeah, once I cut into it, I'll come back to you guys. Okay, we pulled the brisket at 175. All the fat's looking rendered. It's looking sticky. The fat is sticky. You can poke it and your finger wants to sink in. So we're looking good there. We're gonna foil boat this, and hopefully it'll be done here in the next 2 hours, and then we can let it sit. All right, so we did end up pulling that at 190. Everything was probing very tender, in and out. The probe goes in and out everywhere effortlessly, except for about here. Now, I was watching a video on certain parts of these briskets have fat deposits on them, I guess, and some of them just won't render, and that could be that little part right there, which I'm not going to worry about. If this tiny little part wasn't completely tender, because everywhere else on this brisket is tender. We got amazing bark on this thing everywhere. All I did was salt and pepper. I did pepper first so that the pepper would stick to the brisket. Trimmed the brisket as best as I could, got everything aerodynamic. Try to get all the bad fatty parts off that doesn't render. Everything about this brisket seems like it's going to be good. So everything is rendered. It's probing very nicely, coming in and out. So pretty sure we hit it out of the park on this one. We won't exactly know until I cut it, but I have a good idea that this brisket's going to be really good. Okay, we're going to cut the flat first and see how it turned out. Definitely feels better. Okay. Oh yeah. There's some good moisture in there. A little, yeah, we're still a little dry on the flat. But I think the point's probably gonna be good. Oh yeah. Look at the point. Point is plenty juicy. Flat still freaking, I think it's a little dry, but it's not bad. Alright, so yeah, did pretty good this time. Alright, so conclusions on the brisket video is the water pans 100% helped fully. I know it was kind of a lot of water pans in there, but you know, it helped disperse the heat from that bottom, protect the bottom of the brisket. I did do fat side up again because I did want to check to see if I could get away with that, just because I like cooking fat side up. The brisket on the flat was slightly overdone. Point was almost about perfect. Now, I do want to go over what I think is going on with this smoker, and I honestly think that is what's going on with this smoker. I think the top rack is smoking a little hot. So if you're smoking at 180, I think it's probably going a little higher than that. Also, you're going to be better putting the flat towards the left side of this smoker. What I'm hearing is this left side is a lot cooler than the right side. So I would definitely take your flat and put it over to this left side to protect that thin piece of meat. The other thing with it is I've experienced it and another YouTuber has experienced it where their brisket got done at 180 degrees. And I know the general consensus out there is the brisket has to be taken to 200. And I'm telling you right now on this smoker, that is not the case, because he pulled his at 180. Everything was feeling really good at 180. He decided to trust his instincts. He pulled that brisket and his brisket was perfect. I can't remember the name of the YouTube channel. I'll put it in my comments below once I find his YouTube channel so you can go back and reference his channel. I found that on this brisket cook, when I got to 180, same thing happened to me. The fat was rendered, it was sticky. When you pushed your finger on, your finger fell into the fat and it was sticky, so you know that fat was rendered. Other thing was when I was probing the brisket, everything was coming in and out very smoothly like butter. Now, I should have pulled it at 180. And what I did was I did not trust my instincts and I wanted to get as close as I could to that 200 degrees. I knew if I took it to 200, it was going to dry out, because that's what I did on my first brisket. But I went ahead and I was like, you know what? I want to take it to 190 because I want to make sure that it's there and it's done. So I left it on there for another hour at 190, and I took it too far, and it slightly dried out on the flat. And so if I could take it back, I would have pulled that brisket at 180. The other thing I want to mention is this is my first time using a foil boat. And in the video, you will see how amazing the bark came out on this smoker. It is the best bark that I've had on a brisket. I will no longer wrap my brisket any longer. I will always foil boat it. The crunchiness that we got from the bark on the brisket this time was amazing. So I think in hindsight, if I pulled the brisket at 180 when I thought it was done, using the foil boat, it would have been the best brisket I ever made. That's my conclusion video, and thanks for watching.